Today on the show, did the Philadelphia Eagles get a huge break going into this wild card matchup on Sunday against the Niners? Should Philadelphia run Tank Bigsby more? A San Francisco radio host ripping Philadelphia fans. What's new? This rivalry has a lot of juice. And what is Vic Fangio's reward for some of his players when they play well? It has to do with what Vic is cooking up in the kitchen. All that's coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles. Now, my name is Chase Sr., and it's all made possible thanks to our friends at Polymarket. It's time to challenge the status quo, and Polymarket is now live to help us do so. You can be a part of the revolutionary alternative to sportsbooks with our special invite code. Download Polymarket's new app now via the link that is in the description and comments of today's show to unlock exclusive early access and a free $10 in your account when you use the invite code CHAT. Now, Polymarket is a prediction marketplace that lets you make trades on the outcomes of sporting events. As you can see here on your screen, you can even buy and sell within a game with live trading. Polymarket has the lowest fees ever. You trade against other people, not the platform, and you can cash out anytime and react to momentum swings within the game. You are in control. It's legal and available nationwide in all 50 states on their iOS app now. And for this week's Eagles-Niners game, Polymarket is giving Philadelphia a 68% chance to come out of the wild card round with a victory. So $10 free, waiting for you. No card, no deposit, no nothing. Download the app with our exclusive code CHAT right now at chatsports.com/Polymarket. for exclusive early access and $10 free. Going to put this link down below in the description of today's Philadelphia Eagles. Now, it's also a part of the pinned comment that is $10 free, waiting for you when you use the code CHAT. All right, let's get the official show underway. So much to talk about here on this Thursday, January 8th, as we continue to inch closer and closer to Sunday's wild card tilt between Philadelphia and San Francisco. The status of 49ers left tackle Trent Williams has been a big storyline for this wild card game on Sunday. Ian Rappaport reporting this morning that Trent Williams' status is in doubt for Sunday's game. And a lot of people like to say that Christian McCaffrey is the Niners' offensive MVP. And he's had an Offensive Player of the Year type of campaign after he won the award in 2023. But the Niners' offensive MVP might indeed be Trent Williams. Without him on Saturday against arguably the best defense in the NFL, not named the Philadelphia Eagles, this Niners offense was awful. They could not pass protect at all. Brock Purdy was on his back all throughout the night. He had no time to really survey the field and throw it downfield. And San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan's system hinges on the run game, and the Niners could not run the ball either. They had under 200 yards of total offense, 4.1 yards per play, only 120 yards through the air. Yards per pass, more than 4. And they only ran it 12 times for 53 yards. They also turned it over once they finally got in the red zone. And since 2020, this is why I mentioned Trent Williams being the Niners MVP. This is very similar to how impactful Lane Johnson is and how meaningful he is to the Eagles. The Niners since 2020, playoffs included, are 61-31 with Trent Williams, a winning percentage just shy of 66%. Without Trent Williams, the Niners 4-13, and their winning percentage plummets to sub 24%. And he might be 37 years old, but Trent Williams is still one of the best offensive tackles in the game, and this is why he's Canton bound and he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Just a phenomenal player at that left tackle spot. 91.5 overall PFF grade this year. That's third among 89 offensive tackles in the regular season. Pass blocking grade, 79.9. That ranked 12th. His run blocking grade, 92.8. That ranks second. And this is a great example of why offensive linemen, and especially offensive tackles, matter. It blows my mind how there are some teams across the NFL that don't emphasize offensive lines and offensive linemen enough. Howie Roseman, he always does that, right? Always puts an emphasis in the trenches, both on offense and on defense. But with these offensive linemen, it's always something that he wants to build his offenses around because he knows how important it is. And with the Niners, under Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they haven't put enough of an emphasis along the offensive line, really outside of Trent Williams. And the lack of good offensive line play has really hurt the Niners in the biggest of games. And that reared its ugly head on Saturday against the Seahawks when the Niners were playing for the number 1 seed and they missed out on it. And you look at the lane train effect for Philadelphia on their side, right? After looking at how impactful Trent Williams is for San Francisco with Lane Johnson, the Eagles all time, 110-57-1 without him, 18-27 this year, a record of 3-4 without Lane Johnson. More to get to here on the show, but a quick reminder, don't forget to scroll on down. Hit that subscribe button here on Eagles Now for elite, top-notch, daily Philadelphia Eagles coverage. As you can see, we are 121 people away from 142,000 subscribers. Don't miss out on the movement. Lock us in and hit that sub button right now. Topic number 2. Should the Eagles run Tank Bigsby more? It's not to say that Saquon Barkley has been awful this year or he should get benched or anything like that, but I think it's always an advantage to have a really good 1-2 punch at the running back spot. And Tank Bigsby has played so well when he's actually gotten opportunities this year that he might be too good to not give carries to. And this Eagles run game hasn't been the same this year in 2025 compared to the 2024 campaign. I think a big reason why the run game has struggled for Philadelphia, it's offensive line regression. Cam Jurgens, bad year. Landon Dickerson, bad year, banged up. And so that's led to the yards before contact for Saquon Barkley going down so much compared to last year. But what can sometimes negate bad offensive line play? A physical back who just puts his head down, dips his shoulder, churns the feet, runs hard, takes what is there, because sometimes Saquon Barkley will look for the big play and just take what the defense is giving him and just get the 3-4 yards that are there. And sometimes Tank Bigsby, obviously more so than Saquon because he's a different style of runner, bull in a China shop, he can pick up yards after contact, break tackles. And how about the play that he made on the check down screen pass from Tanner McKee? Like, I didn't really know that Tank Bigsby had that type of juice where he stuck his foot in the ground, pivoted to the outside, and picked up yards after the catch. This guy is a really good back, and you see why Howie Roseman made that trade for him early in the year. Underrated move for Howie. Now, Jason Kelsey on WIP this morning brought this up. I hope to see a pretty decent usage of Tank at this point. I mean, how many times does a guy have to flash to be like, why are we not giving this guy more carries? And this Niners defense, they are not good in general. They are not good against the run. A big key in this game for Philadelphia is going to be able to establish the run and find success on the ground. There are no excuses for why the Eagles can't find success offensively in this game. They should be able to get to around 30 points with all the skill level players that they have, the amount of talent that they have, combined with how bad this Niners defense is. They are extremely well coached because of Robert Saleh. But when you lose a Fred Warner, a Nick Bosa, when you have no healthy linebackers and you're starting a washed Eric Kendricks and Kaiser White, who you signed just a couple of days ago, Philadelphia should be able to move the ball and have a lot of success. And I'd like to see Tank Bigsby sprinkled in a little bit more. I also like the thunder and lightning type of feel that the Eagles could have in that backfield and pose different looks to the defense in running the football. And Tank, as we saw against Washington, can also catch the ball out of the backfield like Saquon Barkley. Get the ground game going. You can open up the pass game, and the Eagles can have a lot of success on offense against the Niners. Let's get to this as well. So a radio host in San Francisco on 95.7 The Game said this about the environment at Lincoln Financial Field. I've been to the Link. There are a lot of jerks at the Link, but they're not as scary as they think. All buildings are loud. Their fan base loves to think that they've got some massive effect on the game. They don't. You might think that, but the numbers prove otherwise. Since 2009 in the playoffs, Lincoln Financial Field has served as a great home field advantage for the Eagles, and it's been one of the more difficult places to play. This is why Philadelphia has not lost a home playoff game since 2019. This is why since 2009 in the postseason, the Eagles are 7-3 at home, 1-4 on the road, 2-1 in neutral site games, which obviously is the Super Bowl. When you have to come to the link in January, you have to deal with the hostile environment. It is very loud. It is raucous. The fans are on top of you. The fans are making noise. Plus, you have to deal with the cold weather element. It's a very difficult place to go and play. Ask the Niners what happened in 2022 in the NFC Championship game. A lot of Niner fans will say, well, Brock Purdy got knocked out. That's part of the game. Philadelphia dominated that game in the trenches, and as part of that, yeah, they knocked out Brock Purdy. I wanted to see Purdy play in that game because I thought that we were going to see an epic NFC Championship game, one of the best ever, potentially, because of all the talent on both sides of the ball. But Philadelphia thoroughly handed it to San Francisco in that game. And I know a lot of Niner fans like to hang their hat on the fact that the Niners came back in 2023 and they beat the brakes off the Eagles. They did. Impressive win. But that Eagles defense that year was horrible. They were trotting out the likes of some scrub players on defense. Like Nicholas Morrow was playing at linebacker. The Eagles had two different defensive coordinators that year. Bradley Roby was playing at cornerback. James Bradbury got cooked overnight. He was one of the top cornerbacks in that game. Like, this Eagles defense now, much better than that Eagles defense then. And it's going to be a difficult place to play at Lincoln Financial Field. And this is why, these numbers right here, why I wanted the Eagles to try to get that number 2 seed, because it would have guaranteed them a divisional round matchup at home. It's also funny to see how Niner fans, who a lot of Eagles fans have called whiner fans, say that Philly fans are the worst, that they're trash scum, while referencing snowballs being thrown at Santa Claus, which happened all the way back in like 1968. Niner fans are not goody two-shoes here, all right? They are not innocent. There have been multiple instances recently of in-stadium fights when they're fighting each other or fighting other fans. There have been situations where fans have been pulling the hair of women down stadium stairs. All right, so Niner fans sometimes act like Philadelphia fans are just the worst and they are blameless. That's not the case at all. I will say both fan bases are passionate. Both fan bases are knowledgeable and intense. Every fan base has some bad apples, but I always like to think that asshole fans represent a small minority of an entire fan base. I think that's true for both, but social media obviously exaggerates everything. We round out with this. This is a really cool story that Tim McManus wrote up on ESPN, and Tim McManus does a great job of covering the Eagles for ESPN. What drives the Philadelphia Eagles defensive players to play well? What if I told you it's Vic Fangio's homemade meatballs? So Fangio gives meatballs and a meatballs award to standout defensive players after games who do not receive game balls from Nick Sirianni. What a story this is. So Vic Fangio's meatball recipe came from his Italian grandparents when they left Italy for Dunmore, Pennsylvania, the neighboring town of Scranton, all the way back in 1919, and it stayed in the family since. The recipe consists of ground beef, pork, and Parmesan cheese. The sauce, a combination of tomato puree and paste. There's some secret ingredients here that Vic Fangio will not unveil to anybody, even former players who have called Vic, asking him what the recipe is so that they can wow their significant others. Fangio oftentimes makes 60 to 75 at a time. He'll freeze some leftovers. And for this Meatballs Award, when he gives them to Eagles players, this is the most old school Italian dude thing ever. He places them in a brown paper bag. And some Eagles players have said that Vic Fangio, kind of an old school guy, a little bit rough around the edges. This has brought out a personality trait within him, and it's been something fun for this Eagles defense to kind of rally around and work toward, and it's something that Vic Fangio introduced for the first time this season. Pretty damn cool. All right, don't forget to give me a follow on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Chase_Senior. I'm giving you so much Eagles coverage here, additional Eagles coverage over there. Just started that TikTok page, so hit me up and help me support it.